we started looking about 2 years ago at our existing sirens. We have 14 sirens that are located in the city of Bixby. The last 2 years, especially the last 2 years, we saw more and more problems that we were having with our sirens, our outdoor warning system. Also, there was one requirement. FCC was requiring a narrow banding procedure that, as far as our radios were concerned, and so we had to fix that by January 1st of this year. So, with those in mind, looked at that from emergency management, and we met our committee on our mitigation plan. We met and we talked about some of the things that are occurring, throughout the city that or could occur. And, where it could be an earthquake, it could be drought, it could be whatever it may be, and how do we mitigate some of these circumstances. So one area especially was the outdoor warning system. So we looked at that. Our community passed a bond a year or so ago, and actually gave us some money to put toward our siren system. It was $100,000 that we were actually able to use to help correct some of our problems that we were having. With that money, and then some money from our capital improvement funds, we were able to really take care of all 14 sirens, upgrade them, take care of the FCC regulations. All of those have been completed. We had some funds left, so we went back to our mitigation plan and looked at locations that we feel, especially as our city continues to grow, what areas we feel that are going to be needing sirens for an outdoor warning system. And you have to look at each siren, especially the radius of what signal that goes out. So some of these areas are actually right on the edge, so we have to look at that, because if they're not receiving a signal, even during a storm, I mean, it's very difficult. It's an outdoor warning system, but think about this: if you're at the outskirts of a radius as far as a siren, you could be standing out on a beautiful day, and on Saturday afternoon at noon, when we sound our sirens to test them, you could barely hear that.
Okay.
What happens when you start having wind and rain? You could still be outside, you would not hear it at all. So that's what we have to look at, is basically how effective our sirens are. So we've located another area, and this will be out on Harvard, which will take care of Spring Creek, and also then Harvard Ponds Addition, and also any areas that we're going to be seeing grow from that area. We have a couple other spots we've identified that we're going to be looking at, especially as housing starts being built in specific areas. We want to move forward on getting those installed. So it's something that does, especially doesn't stop. We have to continue to look at what our capabilities are, and especially, like I said, as our city continues to grow and expand, there are certain areas that we're going to have to look at, and probably add some sirens later on. Our city council has been real responsive and given us the opportunity to purchase those, and to put it on a bond, and also over capital, and so that way we can get, like I said, get the sirens that we need to better improve our warning system.
Do you guys feel ahead of the ball when all the tornadoes came out in OKC and Edmond, that you guys had already updated?
Well, I really felt relieved. I mean, I really did. I mean, when you look at what's happening all over, and because we were watching, I mean, we watched all the storms, and if you watched during that whole 2 or 3 week period, we had storms that were coming our direction, and we were very fortunate, because once the storms took a northerly direction, they really kind of weakened and dissipated, which we were very fortunate. We saw one of the storms that actually had started in the Oklahoma City area. As it continued to move east, it grew from that one storm to a larger storm, and created 2 tornadoes. And one, the north part of that storm, actually came up toward us.
Okay.
Again, when it came to the north, it weakened and dissipated. So we were very fortunate. As you saw, you know, our city next door to us, Broken Arrow, they ended up getting hit with a you know, a tornado. So again, I mean, that was something that we didn't have to sound our sirens on because it was actually to the north of us, so it really didn't affect us from that standpoint. But it, you know, continued east and went kind of southeast, easterly direction, and that's what hit Broken Arrow. So it can happen anytime. I mean, you can see some of them that have hit that come out very quickly. We're always looking at what we can do to you know, provide a better service to our community. One thing that we're actually adding will be our Blackboard Connect, which is also a early warning as far as storms. If the Weather Bureau sees that we're in the affected area, they will send a message out to Blackboard Connect, which in turn will send a message out to all the people in our community that are on our service. Now, our service, basically, we start off with all the landlines, which is, you know, published. Those are on our system already. So what we're going to be looking at as we move forward, and we'll be getting more information out to our community, so they will be able to sign up, you know, cell phones and things of that nature. So we're trying to get that kicked off. We're training our people right now on how to use this system and putting policies together. But we're hoping within about the next week to 10 days we'll have it operational.
Great.